Hello, dividend executives. Welcome back. The stock market is open, so you already know we are buying stocks and we are adding assets to the portfolio. If you are new here, I am building a dividend portfolio, and I want to talk about how in 2024 you could start your own dividend portfolio. Our main focus here is adding dividend stocks each and every single week, keeping it super simple, and making buying the asset the hardest part of the journey. As you can see here, we have $16,439. We are almost a year into this portfolio. I started it at zero, and I add between 100 and probably $250 a week on average each and every single week, sometimes in lump sums. And that's how we got here in less than 1 year. So let's jump into it. For the day, we are up. For the week, we are up 227 or 1.4%. For the month, we're up 5.77% or 896. For the past 3 months, we're up 1970 or 13.62%. And then over the last 1 year, we were up 6% or $943. You can see some big dips here. Obviously, we had some assets go down. We had SCHD dip. We had realty income dip. We had quite a bit of assets dip, and then they rallied back. But we don't really care about that. All we want to do is we want to keep adding to the account each and every single week. You can see we have some buying power available. And we have some things to go over. So first things first, let's check our dividends. This month is looking really, really juicy. I think we might actually have a record-breaking month for dividends. So let's jump into it. Let me just get down to the start of January. January 3rd, we have JEPQ coming in at $9.45, JEPI 803, QQQY 538, APLY 1385. These are all the yield max funds, by the way. They're covered call funds, and they pay massive dividends. But the shares kind of stay, they either go down or stay the same. So MVDY 1696, AMZY 581, GOOY 184, FBY $9.89, OARK 1123, CONY absolutely massive dividend $46.39. My gosh, $2.69 a share. And speaking of which, as of right now, today is supposed to be the Bitcoin approval. Spot approval or not. So we will find out there. But yeah, there's a lot of volatility around that, and that's why we are seeing that. So that's CONY. Where did that one go? Yeah, 46. And then we have GOOY 184, AMZY 581, and then FBY 989, OARK 1123. And SQY coming in at 1883, TSLY, these are a bunch of yield max funds, 3201, which is a pretty good one. This one actually went down from, I think, 57 cents, so that one went down a little bit. And then we have some heavy hitters coming in at the end of the month that are not here yet. PSEC at $2.50, STAG at $1.18, and O at $3.05. So, and Maine, we can't forget Maine at $2.91. So not too bad. The dividends are stacking up, and we will go over that in the spreadsheet in a little bit. But we have to buy some assets, and like I said, I want to talk about building portfolios, right? So the way I'm building this portfolio may be right, may be wrong. Maybe there's some things that you do to build your portfolios, but for me, I try to keep it super, super simple. My main focus for dividends is what? Dividend income, right? If I want to generate through growth, then I'll use my growth portfolios for that. If I want to generate through selling options, then I have pure options portfolios for that. But here I'm focusing on dividends, and I do that through mostly monthly dividend payers with drip on, and then a few quarterly ones as well. And then I like to stick to, obviously I've been trying out some of these yield max funds to see how they are. They boost the passive income. And I just want to see how they do on drip. And then I've also been heavily invested into some backbones in the account. And that is a huge portion of, I think, what people should do when building dividend portfolios is having things like VTI, SCHD, VYM, things like that, right? So SCHD, as we know, is one of the biggest portions of the portfolio at $3,541 or 21% of the portfolio. And VTI coming in at 10% of the portfolio at $1,564. And then VYM is one we've added to recently. It's only 2% of the portfolio for now, but it is a fund that I want to continue to add to. And this is Vanguard's high dividend yield ETF. So those are a few of them. JEPI and JEPQ give me my exposure to the NASDAQ 100 and the S&P 500. Again, these are premium income funds, and they pay a pretty good dividend. So not too bad. We got $1,000 in this one. And let me see what the dividend was. We just got paid on this. Yeah, $8.03. So not too bad. So each individual share is paying 42 cents. So those are the backbones to the account. I think everybody should have backbones to their dividend portfolios. Obviously, they can be different, and there's many different ways to do this. But that's how I'm doing it. And one thing that I focus on each and every single week is just buying more assets. And that's the step-by-step approach I go through. I add assets each and every single week. I add to assets depending on when the dividends are coming in. And that's how we do it. So one thing I want to do first is I want to jump over to our purple brick and let's take a look at where we're at, right? So for the portfolio right now, annually, it's forecasting us here at $2,698 worth of income, which is kind of cool to see broken down to $7.39 a day. So on average, I make $7.39 a day in just pure dividend income. And I could never do anything to this portfolio ever again or add another dollar. And that number is just going to continue to go up because I'm having it all on drip and I'm having it all reinvest. So you can see the heavy hitters are obviously all the yield maxes at the top, CONY being the top at 564. And then we get into SCHD at 139, which is a quarterly dividend payer. And then we got the good JEPQ and the JEPI at, around $100. But why do I look at this? Well, I like to look at what's already passed and what can be, right? So it's saying we could get a potential of $206.72 this month. Obviously, we had a big yield max day of the 155. But I like to look at this because I like to look at the ex-dividend dates. You can see some estimations here. And these are the estimations based on what they think the dividend will be based on previous months. And also, it gives us an insight into the ex-dividend day. So today is the January 10th. So we obviously have a little bit of time until the 17th. But for me, I want to get in before the 17th. I like to do this each and every single month so that I can allocate my funds to different funds each and every single week. And this week, we're going to be hitting ones that are still going to come in this month that we can still add to right now. So SPHD is going to be one of them. Another one is BITO. Ex-dividend date on January 19th. GLAD ex-dividend date on January 14th, which is coming up soon. And then DEVO all the way at the end of the month, but we are going to add to that today. So those are the four I'm going to add today. And so let's jump in. Let's buy some stocks. This is the heaviest part and the hardest part about dividend investing, and that's just buying stocks. So tough life, right? So let's jump down in here. Options real quick. These are both looking good. TSLL 1273 puts for this week. TSL is trading above that right now, so these should be fine. If not, I could roll them down and out. And then Riot, this one's at $1, so I could close this out as well. We're up 94%. I'm just kind of letting it sit, and I do have some buying power available as well, but I trade really safe options in this account with a margin money because it's free, and then I just add that to my dividends. So that's one way I do that. And then we're gonna scroll down here. We're gonna buy some assets, right? So the first one we talked about was SPHD. If I can find it somewhere in here, looks like I went past it. My bad. So we have SPHD. This is a monthly payer, 18.59 shares as of right now, and 4.88% of the portfolio. And we are up 5% on this. So we're going to be averaging up today. But we are going to do 25 shares. We're going to do $25 into this. We're going to keep it simple this week. So we're going to do buying dollars. We're going to do $25. And just like that, we bought ourselves some more shares. So $25 into SPHD, that'll raise our dividend income each and every single month, especially for this month. And that's 5% of the portfolio. Another one I want to add to on the list, we saw it at the very bottom there, and that is BITO. We are currently up 7.7% on this. I think this will do good going into the Bitcoin halving coming up in a couple of months. And I want to have this as a small percentage of the portfolio. So we're going to buy a little bit of this. $25, nothing crazy, 1.11 shares. We'll increase the percentage a little bit, but not too bad, right? So 2.3% of the portfolio, and we have us a little bit more BITO, and we bought us another share. So you can see here the dividend that we got. Yeah, it's not that much, but on 2 shares, we got 14 cents. So we just gave ourselves a 14 cents raise right there just buying that share. So love to see that. Next one I want to add to the list is going to be Gladstone Capital. We are up 13.56% on this one. Average cost $9.79. So we are going to be averaging up. Don't really care. Just want to buy more shares. So we're going to buy 2.24 shares. Nice add to the account. Obviously, we're going to move the average cost up. But yeah, we have 48.89 shares. Let's see if that went through actually. Yeah, perfect. So 48.89 shares, just over 3.31% of the portfolio diversity. And that's glad. And then last but not least, we are going to be adding to Devo. Right now, we currently have, we are up 3.3% on the position. We have 19.63 shares. And we are going to be close to the 5% mark on the portfolio after we add this 25, or inch it a little bit closer there, right? So we obviously averaged up on the position. We now have 4.52% of the portfolio, and we have 20 shares. So I'd love to see that. Again, another raise right off the rip. As soon as we added that, we're going to get a raise this month. So I love doing that. I love having the control, being able to give yourself a raise whenever you want to. And I love buying stocks. And then last but not least, I want to add to one of the backbones. Obviously, I have SHD, VTI, and these JEPI, JEPQ, and VYM. Those are the real backbones to the account. I want to add to this newer fund. We are actually just break even on this one, but I want to add 25 bucks to this as well. It's going to buy us 0.22 shares. I want to keep trying. I want to build this position up a little bit more so it has a heavier weight in the portfolio. Maybe get around the 5 to 7% mark. So I'm just going to continue adding to this one each and every single week. But just like that, we added $125 to the dividend portfolio. Super, super simple. We gave ourselves a nice raise for the month. And I want to jump in and I want to jump into the spreadsheet and take a look at where we're at, right? So here's the spreadsheet. You can see last month we ended up at 192.88 for December. So that is the high mark for the portfolio. That's the highest we did in 2023. And so we are at 2024. We're going to be adding stocks, obviously, as the year goes through. We have some new dividends that will be coming in that we haven't received before. And this is what I want to show you, because if you look at the top, you can see in January of last year, we had $0. In February, we had $81 of dividend income. Well, check this out. In January, already declared on the statement that we just looked at, we have $194.41. That's not including some of these positions like GLAD, SCH or SPHD, and Devo that are still going to come in. So there's a potential that we break the $200 dividend income per month, which is absolutely awesome. Obviously, we have huge weight to the yield max funds that added some buku bucks here with CONY, SQY, and TSLY. But that's part of the portfolio, right? Like I like to have some of my long-term low dividend plays, like VTI would be an example of that, really, really low dividends, but it gives me good growth exposure. And then we have our high yield dividend plays that I just have on drip. Well, I have everything on drip, but those particularly on drip. And we just see this. We see the increase, and this is what is addicting. This is what is so fun about building portfolios, and it is raising that income each and every single week. So BITO will come into so a lot of money that could be coming in. But look at this graph. This is so cool to see. So blue is obviously 2023. Red is 2024. You can see there was nothing in January, and that bar in January is just as high as the bar in December. So it's going to be cool to see how this grows throughout 2024. And then I did want to show this as well. This kind of shows like the breakdown. The colors aren't that great, to be honest with you, because there's so many different funds, but this shows the breakdown of where the dividends are coming in. Obviously, my biggest hitter at 23.9% of my dividends is coming in on CONY, SQY at 9.7%. QQQY is one I want to keep adding to. That's at 2.8%. And then some of the other heavy hitters are TSLY, JEPI, and JEPQ, of course, coming around that 4 to 5%. And everything else is kind of the lower percent, right? Like the yield maxes are obviously taking over in terms of percentages, but all those other ones are coming in as well. So this is just for the first month. Obviously, as the time progresses, this will change, right? And we'll have more and more data, but kind of fun to jump into the nerdy numbers of it. It's cool to see the difference in year over year, just stacking and looking at these right here. It's fun to look at the difference. So obviously we're going to beat our goals from last year because we started at 0. But it'll be fun to monitor this and to let the portfolio grow over time. So that's everything I got for this week. That is the update. Those are the stocks we are buying this week. Of course, we will be back next week and we'll be buying more assets. I'm going to be adding more funds to the portfolio without trying to get too many. And I may be consolidating some of the yield max funds as well, just so that we have less clutter. But those are moves for another day. This is the moves I'm making today. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in each and every single week. Thank you for the support. Don't forget to drop the like, as always. And happy investing. We'll catch you next week.